So I just finished watching the Hans Rosling Magic Washing Machine and the Cheryl Woodon Our Century's Greatest Injustice videos, and I had a lot of time to think about that. I was thinking a lot about what they were saying, especially in particular. I had something very in common with the Hans Rosling video. I served my mission in Manaus, Brazil, which is located in the Amazon rainforest area, and I saw a lot of poverty, for sure. And with that being the case, I actually had to wash my clothes by hand a lot on my mission, basically the whole time. And that's something that is really interesting and eye-opening. I guess for all missionaries it is, to have an experience in a third world country and to really have to kind of grow up a little bit. I definitely took a lot of things for granted when I was growing up. One of those being just the sheer fact of electricity and the sheer fact of a washing machine, which is the point that Hans Rosling makes in the video. He talks about his grandmother and how she was so mesmerized by the washing machine because she had used so much of her time washing her clothes by hand that she was mesmerized that something such as electricity could actually fix that and could actually do the work for her without her having to struggle. I Like I said, I washed my clothes by hand on my mission, and I'm definitely not I'm not I'm not missing those rashes that I used to get on my hands from the soap, or the long hours I had to spend on preparation day washing my clothes by hand. Surely that was a very interesting experience for me because, like I said, I took a lot of things for granted. I still I definitely took many things for granted in my life before I served my mission, and I'm thankful that the Lord put me there in Brazil so that I would be able to see just how blessed I am. But also, it's an eye-opening experience because you can see how different the world is. Where we were in Manaus, the sewage system wasn't there. I mean, you would use the bathroom and it would come out of your house and go into the road, and it would sit in the road until it got down into one of the gutters. And it's just eye-opening to see how as they said in the video, 1/7 of the population uses more than half of the energy that we have in the planet. And I think that's really crazy because we should share the wealth, we should share the energy with everybody so that everybody can be blessed with things so simple as a washing machine, so that they can have more time to do things. And one of the interesting points that Hans Rosling made in the video was that whenever they were washing the clothes, his mother would say, "Let's go to the library." So they would put the clothes in, and while they were washing, they would use that time to be educated and to be smart, and that's how they were able to progress and were able to become more advanced. His mother learned English because they had a washing machine, and she had time to read the books about English, and I thought that was really interesting. So I guess we use our time more wisely because we have these technologies, and we're able to be more advanced because we have more time to educate ourselves because of that. The Cheryl Woodon video was talking about the world's greatest injustice, and in her opinion, one of the greatest tragedies of this time is definitely gender inequality between males and females. And she was talking a lot about how in the 19th century the problem was slavery, and she compared that to today, actually, how there's 10 times more slaves in the world today being sex trafficked girls than there were back when the slavery was the main issue with the African population. And it's wrong to think that girls are objects, because we know that in God's plan everybody's equal. We all just have different roles. So males and females shouldn't be treated. They shouldn't be treated as different levels of treat. They shouldn't be treated differently. They should be treated the same. But we know that each gender and each gender has their own characteristics divinely appointed by God. And as soon as we realize that, the world will become a better place. And so I believe that the movement that she was trying to spread about helping girls become more advanced in the world is very important. She gave lots of examples of girls who were in these poverty situations and they ended up getting out because they were helped in some way. And a lot of people criticize those that help because they think it's a lost cause or they think it's not going to actually do anything. But we know that individuals that help are more happy. She stated a statistic that was talking about the very few things in this life that make people genuinely happy, and one of which is contributing to a greater cause. And that's why I think that as members of the church we're so happy, because we give our tithing and we serve missions and we do things for a greater cause. And I think that's really important. But going back to this gender equality thing, I mean, I can just use the example of my sister. She's an amazing girl, and she has had some learning difficulties. She's had trouble reading because she has severe dyslexia. And in one of these third world countries, she wouldn't have had opportunities to. She would have just been thrown under the bus because she has a learning disability. But she's one of the smartest people I know. She just thinks differently, and she's now one of the top students in her class. She's doing phenomenally well, and I'm very proud of her. And I wouldn't. I mean, there's no way to say she's less than we are as males, because she's definitely smarter than we are. And I'm proud of her that she's had these opportunities to grow because we live in the United States. And I think that's something that we should help people around the world have the opportunity to do, to be successful despite their difficulties, despite their challenges, especially women. And I think that we should also help these girls get out of this the sex trafficking situation, because that's a vicious cycle. She compared the vicious cycle that they were in to the then transformed into the virtuous cycle. And I think we should help as many girls as we can get into this virtuous cycle, because that's the way that they'll be able to become, or to know for a fact that they are daughters of God. And so yeah, this is what I learned from the videos, and it was really good and an eye-opening to me to watch them.